Yeah, uh-huh. It's me, Magic Man Fire. Listen, listen, you know I feel right now, man, I feel it like I'm stunning shit. The game I'm on a money, bro, a money, man, I'm gunning it. Every time I'm on the block, you see I make it drop, hit the grain and on my sixes every time, see when it rocks, so every time, see when I hit it off the smash, trunk blasting on my ammunition, when I get it back, what you talk about, homie, what you talk, now you a G, you ain't nothing compared to Magic Man Fire, now this is me, I'm the greater lyrics, listen, my peer, every time I get it. Spend so many raps on my handle when I spin it. Got so many flows, man, it looks like some obstacles. Hit it to my background, I know it's impossible. My 4 pound, my other listen, my 4 pound, I with the pound. My soldier rap, my head spinning. I tell you, boy, it's going down. I'm soldier bitches, I'm under the bitch. My surf game it's under kissing. I tell you, boy, not really, boy, not bully, boy. Now can you feel it? I don't think right now for really that you heard of me. I can have you right now, see on the surgery. My bars is so heavy, see my bars is like a baseline, heavy like a Chevy, like an elephant. See one more time, see I'm like a King Kong. Every time I'm in this zone, I'm beating on my checks like some drums, but I'm still alone. Every time I smash on it, and I smash on the brakes, hit a couple mils. I'ma tell you, man, then I shake, and every time I shake, see y'all body see not like some nights, gotta lace them up, but I'm still seeing off the kite. Every time I spin it, see I spin it just a couple mils. Ooh, they got me vicious. I'm a tiger, see I'm off the grill. See it right now, I feel like really it's a jungle. So my humble to get this money, everything see on my cover. 1000 on my bracelet, homie, you should face it. It's ice that I got it, I'ma tell you can't make it. What you wanna do is see it's really about this rapping. I'ma tell you I can say the same things and make it happen. Man, they costing me the Magic Man, cause I got the magic spell, G spell, 4 pill. I'ma tell you, you can tell I steal your girl like her name, like the Undertaker. Put it in the oven. I'ma tell you now, watch me bake her. Put it on the bench, man. I put her on the bench and I said it out. She wasn't nothing to me. See as the glint, man. I hear see all these girls, man. They talking, man. They got the game. Baby girl, I hit you so hard. I hit you from a frame. I hit it so hard. I make her just retire. I hope you know the name is Magiz Man Fire. And if you ever notice this, if you ever notice this, and let me see this game, ooh, I'm really getting close to it. Ooh, I'm trying to find it. Ooh, I'm trying to find it off the ground. But I'm still getting it. I'm hitting this. See, right now, they don't really win me, though. They don't really hear me, though. You see, up in this game, I'm like a tech or a semi, though. I can go bananas like I'm going like a gunplay. Weaponry, yo play. You can have it your way. We can have the 4-player. We can have the whole 9. Spend a couple mils. See, on my rap. See, now one more time. Man, I hit a couple lines like I hit a couple fields when I'm dropping spills every time when I'm on the hill. Every time I hit it, I'ma tell you, boys, see, I'm a boss. Shrimp show, slim thug, like my name is Rick Ross. Boy from KC, 24/7 East Side. If you got a problem with it, really, that's how I ride.